This conference will now be recorded.
So, hi team. In this course, we are going to learn DB2 developer perspective content, the topics which are related to DB2 developer. So, when you want to work on COBOL plus DB2 application programs, then you can choose this particular course. So, I will list out the module topics. I will list out the topics which we are going to cover in this course. So we will be starting with the introduction to DB2, introduction to DB2. So what is DB2? And so if you don't know about DB2 earlier, okay, then we are going to learn that in this particular one. So then differences between DB2 and file system files. The third one, DB2 architecture, like when we are executing SQL queries, how it executes, that we are going to learn. That okay. So DB2 architecture, there are a few components are there. We are going to discuss all those DB2 components. Then fourth one, okay. So we have something called DB2 objects. Okay. So there are two types of objects: system defined object, user defined objects, and we will discuss about objects, which are all will take we will complete all of them within 1 hour or less than 1 hour 60 minutes. Then we will discuss about DB2 data types. So what are the data types in DB2, and what are the data types we are going to cover in our training. Next, we are going to discuss about how to what are the tools are present to execute SQL commands. SQL commands. The next one, there are two tools are there. One is Spoofy tool. The other one is QMF tool, Query Management Facility. Spoofy tool and Query Management Facility. So we will see all of them and we will execute them practically. We will execute those two tools practically. Next, so we will see we will create a table, okay, and I'll explain create command, how you can create a table, then insert, update, delete, and select. All these commands I'll explain a simple select command, simple options. Then eighth topic, we'll discuss about DCL gen, declaration generator. We'll discuss about declaration generator. Then after, we will discuss so how to write COBOL DB2 program. How to write COBOL DB2 program. So in this, we are going to discuss about how we can write select command in application program, how to write update command in application program, how to write delete command in application program, and insert command, insert, update. Yeah, these four commands we are going to discuss in our course. Then apart from that, so we will discuss about COBOL DB2 pre-compilation process. So when you are attending an interview, they will ask you, can you please explain pre-compilation process? So like we have a COBOL, there is a pre-compiler, compiler, linked edit, linked edit. Then we have something called linked edit, then bind plan, and how to run the program. Next, we will discuss null handling. So how to insert null value, how to access null value through application program. That is called null handling. So this is null handling is solution for minus 305. This is the file status code to handle the, and if you don't handle null, we will get minus 305. How to fix it? That we are going to see it. Then last topic, where character handling. So where character handling. So if if the column is a where character, how to handle it. If it is a where character, how to handle it. And in fact, so we'll write a COBOL DB2 program along with the files also. These are all the topics we are going to learn in our training.
Venkat, is that in the COBOL and DB2 select update queries, the cursor options will also be included, or it will be a separate
Sorry, sir.
topic?
My bad. Okay, we will be discussing about cursor also. Cursor also will be there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So that's all related to TOCT, the topics which we are going to
Yeah.
discuss.
Hi, Venkat. What about the unload and load? Will that be discussed or?
No, load, unload are belongs to, developer also will do it. I agree, but we are not discussing them. Okay, load, unload utilities, we are not discussing them.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I hope you are clear till now. Now, let's start. Now, in this video, in this particular video, we are going to learn introduction to DB2. So DB2 stands database 2. DB2 stands database 2. It was developed by and it was developed by IBM. So DB2 is not a it is a relational database. DB2 is a relational database, and it is not a new database. It is a old database. It is not invented or developed 5 years back or 10 years back. So it was there. Before only it was there. So, and when I say relational database, okay, so we have something called hierarchical, there is a relational, there is a network. There are three types of models are there: hierarchical model, network, and relational. So DB2 is a relational database where we have a something called primary foreign key concept. So we have a concept of primary foreign key concept. So we are going to integrate, we are going to link two tables. That concept is called referential integrity. So that you can achieve with the that we can achieve with the relational database. So there are I want to tell one more thing. So DB2 is there on not only on JetOS, G series operating system or mainframe system. Don't think that DB2 is only for mainframe. No, DB2 is there. Okay, DB2 is there on Linux, Unix, and Windows. Okay, all these operating systems. Okay, the DB2 is there. In fact, if you want to execute DB2 commands in your laptop, that also can be done. You need to, the environment UI is different. Okay, the DB to execute DB2 commands, the software which you download and install in Windows is different. The way which we do on JetOS is different. The way which we do is a different. Okay, so that is all about high level details about the DB2. And I want to tell one more point related to DB2 is that, okay, I want to tell one more point about DB2. DB2 was using by SAP earlier. So SAP company was using SAP company was using DB2 as a database. So later they developed SAP HANA to store their customers, their application data. So DB2 is there on earlier SAP also. SAP was using DB2 as their main backend to store their data. But now they, I guess, they are using now SAP HANA. SAP HANA is a database for SAP company. Okay, DB2 is a subsystem in mainframe. So DB2 is a subsystem. What does it mean? When you install, by default, JetOS will not provide. By default, JetOS will not provide DB2. It doesn't provide by default. So we need to take a license. We need to take a license from the IBM, then only we can use for commercial purpose. So I can say it is a not a open source. If you want to use officially, okay, legally, and you have to purchase, you have to take a license from IBM, then only you can use it. Hence it is cost involved. Okay, the DB2 usage of the DB2 is a cost involved. It is not a free of cost, or I can say that it is not a open source. So this is one challenge when you think about DB2. But we have some advantages also. We will look into that. So now we'll discuss about differences between differences between DB2 and files. Okay, we call as a file system. So we will discuss differences between DB2 and file system. So I guess okay, when you are attending a DB2, you should know COBOL. First, I will talk about file system problems and the challenges. Okay, file system challenges. How the DB2 is going to benefit when you compare with the file system. Example one. Okay, example one. So I'll take a directly example. User one is opened a data set in edit mode. Edit mode. Okay, will will user 2 can open that particular data set? That particular data set, is it possible? No. When one job is using one data set, the other job cannot use it, so because it is exclusive access only for that particular user or job. So other job has to wait till it completes the execution. Other user should wait till user 1 completes their editing of that particular file. So this is the one challenge which we have. This is the one challenge which we have. The next one, okay, if I give uh, if I give access to read the data, read the file data, so that guy, that user can modify, can edit, can delete. So let's say I gave access to you. So there are two ways I can restrict accessing data set. I can set the password for data set, in fact. Okay, if I set the password, it's okay. Or let's say uh, there is a one X user, I want to use X user data sets. I cannot use them. I cannot use them. If they restrict accessing from another mainframe ID, then you cannot do it. Let's say admin gave a chance to access, okay, the X user data sets. X user is able to access Y user data sets. Okay, so if you give read access or browse access to Y user, Y user dataset, X can do modifications. So means what I am trying to say here, team, what I am trying to say here, if you give one only browse access, he can do everything, edit access, edit, delete, everything that guy can do it. Okay, so that is all about second. Third one, okay, we have a challenge. Okay, I'll give you an example. We have a in organization, I'm taking one example. In 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 organization, so HR is storing employees data in x.y.z file. x.y.z file. So what it contains: employee ID, employee name, employee phone number, employee address, employee, and other rest of the fields. Okay, employee ID, employee number, or employee ID or number, both are same, right? Then employee name, phone number, and address. So there is a file called project. There is a file called project. So in this project file, I want to store the employees who are working in that the particular project. I want to store the people for employee details who are working in that project. So again, employee ID, employee name, employee phone number, minimal to minimal, these three should be there. So in this context, same data is existing in two files. Okay, there is a duplication, there is a duplicate. So there is a possibility of duplicate. Are you getting my point? So we have, there is a possibility of duplicate because same employee ID, same phone number, same name are storing in two files. But if I use files that I can control it, okay, so I can, I can have a something called referential integrity. I can have a something called referential integrity to I can have referential integrity to reduce the duplication data. To reduce the duplication data, we can do that. So this is the one challenge. Okay, using file handling, we can avoid that. We can control the duplication data. So there is a one more challenge with this mechanism. What happens? Let's say I'm okay with the duplicate data. Assume that the client is okay with the duplication data. Now, as I'm working in the project, I will inform to the project guy, please change the phone number. So I changed the phone number here to some. I changed phone number, but will it change here? So if I want to change the phone number, I should change in this file. I should change in this file, but it is not going to impact immediately, right? So wherever you do the changes, it will happen only there, but it doesn't happen here. Means data consistency will not be there. So because of this file mechanism, we will not be having any data consistency. So here is one data for the same employee, same name, there is another phone number. So the employee phone numbers are different. Why? When here we are changing, automatically it should change here, right? So in case of files, we need to handle that logic. This is the main one challenge. The next one, okay, data validation. Data validation. So just you can recollect and imagine whatever the data you insert the file, will it take or not? Characters, numbers, in the employee name field, if I store all spaces or numbers, it takes. Okay. For to avoid that, you should write a validation. Example, in the gender, it should store only male or female, right? Then see, employee ID should have minimal minimum length 5, so max length is 10, and employee salary range should be between 1 to $10,000. You say like this, or okay, like this. Now, if I want to, if I want to keep these validations, I have to write a COBOL logic, because your file cannot handle like that. Okay, your file cannot do by default that. So the validation is to be taken care by us, the through COBOL program. Okay, so these are all the few challenges when you are dealing with the files. Okay, now in case of DB2, okay, in case of DB2, I'll go with the same points. If user one is accessing table one, the other user also can access same table, that is table one. So if you want, if you want to restrict accessing other user, we can control it. Okay, this is the one. Now I can control. Okay, so I can control access. I can control the access. So I will tell that I want to give only read access table called, that is table 1. Is it possible? 100% it is possible. If you want to give only read access, you can do it. If you guys are trying to access, you're trying to insert the data or trying to update the data, then doesn't work. It will throw an error. It will throw an error. That is all about second point. Then, so the same what I said, right? So we can control the third one with the concept of, okay, so what we can do, just we can link this, I will link project table with XYZ table. So let's say this is the project table, and this is, you can say, XYZ table. So if I want to do linking between these two tables, I can link it. The concept of referential integrity, RI. So we have a concept of referential integrity. So using referential integrity, we can able to control duplication data. Next, the fourth point. So while creating a table, we can mention check constraints. What is the concept? Check constraints means I'll tell that, okay, so gender column should contain either male or female. M or female, like that. So the salary range. So when I say these conditions while creating the table, if you don't follow these rules while you are inserting, it will throw an error without writing the additional logic. So we no need to write any additional logic. It will throw automatically because you did not follow it. So while creating the table, we can able to put some check constraints. With that, you can able to manage it. Okay, so these are all the major main differences between DB2 and files. Is it clear? So I'll stop for today here.